Okay. Let's keep going here. I am very tired. And we still have to do some drone flying. What time is it? 1:30. Ay, we are never this long, right? Again, you know, we never walk 4 miles. We bike 4 miles, which takes a heck of a lot less time. Oh, legs are sore. I do have to say thank you to Tanya for helping out with today's hike, some of the logistics. Obviously somebody has cleared up this trail because, like I said, the last time I was in here, it wasn't this clear. There was a lot of, especially in the rock cuts that we're going to get to, lots of deadfall and stuff in the rock cuts. Come on. Here's yet another culvert. Some snow in there. I was hoping, I didn't see one on this section, but I was hoping maybe closer to Crest. There are some concrete structures. There's one that we're going to be taking a look at when we get to the end, but there's a number of these concrete culverts that were built on this line, and they're really neat to see. There's a couple closer to Thunder Bay. There used to be 3, there's 2 now. On the place, on a feature called the Moose's Nose. And then there's one further up, close to Ellis. So I don't know how far away. Maybe 4 miles away, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, 5 miles away, something like that. I'm just trying to do some quick figuring in my head. You can see the height of the embankment here. It's not the most comfortable thing to walk in rubber boots. Again, without my orthotics. My feet are, I'm sorry, I'm complaining a lot, aren't I? Here's another one of those culverts. We went down and took a look at all of them. There's lots of metal. I think I went down and looked at this one. There's lots of metal and cable and tires. There's like a bazillion tires. Like, I don't know if you can see down there. Like way down there, there's a whole pile of tires, like big truck tires and stuff. And again, it bugs me to see that. I mean, but that was the way people did things in the past, right? Like out of sight, out of mind, right? You just sort of dump things, and now you have all these garbage and debris and rubbish. And it's a good and bad thing. It's bad, obviously, from an environmental perspective, but from a historical perspective, you know, if you know anything about archaeology and stuff, rubbish. There's a partridge up there. Lena, where's the partridge? She doesn't see it. Ah, now she does. Oh, there it goes. From an archaeological perspective, it's really great when you find the debris and the rubbish, because it gives you a lot of information about what went on in certain areas. Okay, so I'm going to use the we're in through a rock cut here. We're the first of 2 rock cuts. I'm going to use the footage we shot this morning. All right, here we go. So this is the first of a couple of rock cuts that you're going to see right in a row here. What's happened since the last time I was here back in 2019 is somebody's come through and done a little bit of cleaning work. Because this rock cut, and maybe I'll show you a piece of video here. I was just sort of watching it last night, and you could see that it was all filled with debris, and I was kind of going around the trees, and so it's certainly been tidied up. So thank you to whoever did that and made my life a little bit easier. This one's fairly lengthy. see there is quite a bit of deadfall here in the cut and brush that we have to maneuver around. It's not particularly high, with the exception of a few spots. Maybe about 15 feet or so. Here you can see the height of the rock cut, probably, I don't know, 12 feet, maybe somewhere in that vicinity. Hate when the battery dies right in the middle of a recording here. It's a little cool outside, so the battery life isn't great. So here you can see, as I was trying to say before I was interrupted, the very irregular shape of the rock cuts. And I'm going to talk about that when we go through the next one. So here the rock work picks up a little bit. I guess here you got to be, just judging off myself, it's got to be about 15 feet, maybe more here. We're pushing maybe closer to 20. You can see the height over there of the rock work. Well, that's got to be 17 feet, maybe more. Again, you can see all that irregular shape, right? Just, and again, it's the nature of the rock, and we're going to see that in a little bit more in the next rock cut, right? This very shale-like rock that comes apart very easily. Here you can see the water. This is very typical in rock cuts. Obviously it's been blasted through the rock, so there's nowhere for the water to go, so it tends to pool. We did have rain yesterday, and I'm sure this didn't sort of help the situation. So again, we can see the rock work here. And so over here the rock cut starts to peter out. Again, you can see some more water here, and so we're gonna hold up here for a second, and the next rock cut is just right over there. All right, so we're out of the rock cut now, and we just have a little bit of a break here. Lots of puddles here. I just splashed some water in my boot. The side of my leg is nice and wet, so we're just gonna go cut through this puddle here, and then we're back into, the dog just splashed me with water. So we're back into a rock cut here. All right, so once again, we're going to use the footage we shot this morning. I gotta fix the camera here. Okay, so let's work our way through this rock cut here. One of the interesting things about it is I noticed the very dog's got the zoomies still. Very crude nature of the rock work. How it's very irregular, not very smooth in places. Kind of really interesting with the rock. You can see this very shale-like rock that just sort of comes apart. Maybe that was one of the issues with this. It wasn't particularly solid rock, and so it just sort of crumbled when they blasted it. You can see the height of the rock cut here. That peak up there has got to be 25 feet, maybe more. Same thing with over here, and this sort of contrasts with later rail lines that were constructed. So for example, when you take a look at the former Kinghorn line, which was the Canadian Northern line between at the time Port Arthur and Thunder Bay, and you can see that, so this line was constructed 1905 1908, which we mentioned, and then that one was constructed between 1911 and 1914. You can actually see the drill marks in that one in some of the rock cuts, right? So they were using powered drills to drill down and do the set the charges for the blasting. And so you can see that the cuts are a lot more smooth. Here you can see what looks like an indentation from a tie, and you almost get this flat appearance to the side of the rock cut. Okay, so let's hold up here for a second and then we'll just keep pushing along. All right, we're rolling again here. We are almost done, I think. How far? 200 meters. Let's get this done. Time 1:38. Be curious to know how long it took me to come back as opposed to going out. It's very slow, as I described, trying to record all the GPS data and take the pictures, because you're stopping all the time and turn around and take pictures. And in case you're wondering what do I do with the GPS data, well, I basically collate it all on my computer with all the GPS software, with the GPS software that I have. And I guess someday I'll turn it over to maybe the Thunder Bay Museum, and I'll have all of this historic data on the you know, the railway lines in the area, right? And I don't know, maybe some researcher someday will be able to use that information, and you know, eventually what'll happen over time, if you know, things will disappear like this bridge that we're going to be taking a look at very shortly here, which is one of the most interesting things on this railway line, and probably one of the most interesting railway features in this whole area, and certainly one of the more unique things that I've ever seen. You can hear that we are getting closer to the highway, which is the end of our hike, because you can hear the cars ripping past on the highway. And this is Highway 102. It's a secondary route, but it's very busy because there's a lot of truck traffic. The trucks like to use it to cut off, and so they can avoid going through most of Thunder Bay. All right, so let's see if I can find my stuff. I think I hid. There it is. Luna's leash and the drone over here. Strap's all wet. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, you can see that there's a knockdown barrier here. We're going to pause here and then we're going to take a look at this this bridge.